Welcome to another edition of Record Women, where over the next 20 minutes we'll feature issues that are important to you, as well as having the latest fashion news, showbiz headlines and celeb interviews. So here's what's coming up on today's programme. We meet the Belle De Jour, who's campaigning for sex workers' rights. Artist Bill Blackwood talks about his erotic art collection, and Bev catches up with Marti Pellow as he takes the theatre world by storm. First on today's show, Laura Lee travels the world plying her trade as an escort. She says she's tried to retire 3 times but likes the lifestyle too much. Well, Bev Lyons went along to meet her as she campaigns against a proposed ban on prostitution in Scotland.
From the Raz girl
to the call girl.
Laura Lee, tell us about yourself.
Hello, I'm a call girl working in Scotland and enjoying every moment.
Excellent. What made you come here?
I'm here since 2003 actually. I think it's a Celtic connection. I love Scotland.
So you're Irish born, but you've been doing this since the age of 19?
On and off, yes. I've retired 3 times though and never had a carriage clock yet, so...
Wow, that must have been a shock to your parents when you decided to become a Saturday girl and
a bit of a shock, yeah. It's not, you know...
Of a different kind?
Yes, yeah, but they're great. They're very supportive.
Excellent. Now, you're obviously here today to talk about something very important that's happening at the moment. What is the current law as regards prostitution?
The current law is, what I do is perfectly legal. However, it's illegal to solicit and illegal to work in a brothel.
So what are the implications for that at the moment for you?
For the moment, for me, nothing. I'm perfectly entitled to work as I do.
But as a brothel, that would suggest that you can't work with somebody else, so maybe that would have implications for your safety?
Yeah, that's right. If I work on my own in an apartment or a hotel room, it's quite okay. If I have another lady with me there for safety or for companionship, that's illegal.
Right, okay. So what are you wanting to happen at the moment?
I would like to see Rhoda Grant defeated in Holyrood in her attempts to implement the Swedish model, which would make it illegal for a guy to pay, because that's basically going to cost lives.
Now, how will that cost lives if a guy is paying and that's illegal?
Because you're driving a further wedge between the support services and the police and the women who do so desperately need our help.
Okay, so if a guy gets arrested, it will mean that what? How will that actually
because
come across?
Clients report untoward things all the time. They will call Crime Stoppers, etc. But if it's effectively a crime that they're going to be admitting to, they won't do that.
Right, okay. So you're wanting this to change. Now, it's called the Swedish model. It's obviously from Sweden. Has it worked there?
No, there's no evidence whatsoever from Sweden to suggest it has worked. In fact, it's had a very detrimental effect on the sex workers there.
Why?
It's taken them further away from the police. They're afraid to report attacks on them, and in some cases they've been made homeless because their landlord have found out on foot of the police as well. So if that's how you protect vulnerable women,
not so good. Rhoda Grant's obviously got lots of figures to back up her claims that this works. What have you got to say about that?
Some of the data she's using is seriously skewed, and I have pointed that out to her in the past.
80% of people agree with her?
No, 80% of the people who responded to the consultation agree with her. In most cases, that's down to funding or because they're attached to a church.
Right.
The remaining 20% who disagree with her are sex workers on the front line and acclaimed academics.
And these are people that you're representing?
Yes.
So what would work? You're saying total decriminalisation?
Complete decriminalisation. Take it out of the old ages and the shadows and regulate it, and let us work with the police rather than against them.
What can people do if they want to support you in this?
I strongly encourage people to lobby their local MSP to ensure that they don't give Rhoda Grant the backing that she's looking for.
Excellent. Thanks very much, Laura Lee.
Pleasure.
Well, Bev Lyons joins me now, and it's that time of the show where we reveal a woman who deserves some special recognition. Bev, who's your Woman of the Week?
She's Suzanne McCafferty. She's 47 years old, from Aberdeen, and she's actually had cancer a record 4 times.
Oh gosh.
She's had bowel cancer, bladder cancer, and now she's got spinal cancer, and unfortunately this time the doctors can't do anything about it. Now, not only has she suffered through this, she's also blind in both eyes. She became blind in one eye through diabetes, and through the other eye after being attacked by a patient. She's a former nurse. Now, in spite of everything that's happened to her, she's putting a brave face on it, quite literally, because what she's done is she's got together with Brow Queen Moya Rain, and she's become an ambassador for the charity Facing It Together. And through that, she's encouraging women who are ill to look good and to feel good despite all the obstacles that stand in their way.
Which is really important, isn't it, when you've got illnesses like that?
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing, you know, it's all about positive mental attitude. And despite, you know, being told that this is terminal this time, she's looking on the bright side, and she really is our Woman of the Week.
She certainly is. Well, Bev, thank you for joining me for the moment. Now, Bill Blackwood is a contemporary artist from Glasgow, better known for his erotic paintings. We went along to meet him as he showed off his new work.
There's a perception of the fact I paint a lot of naked bodies, but in reality, I don't. I paint pieces of the body, but it's all to do with emotional twists. And the reality is most people don't quite get that until they actually see the beastie. I like the fact that the human form is also good to me, but the people who actually get the paintings for themselves or get painted, they see themselves in a light they never thought they would do, and it's not always what they actually would end up thinking how they would look.
Now tell us about the new exhibition, what that will entail.
I was approached by the Macintosh Society to do the exhibition, and I said I would try and base it upon the Macintosh kind of thing, but it got lost at some point. So I turned it back over to my style, but reinterpreted. And it actually looks stunning because the place itself, the Macintosh Church up at Queen's Cross, it's fabulous. It's one of the kind of things, I'm not fond of Macintosh, I have to say that. But the reality is that this is one of these places which is very attractive. And I mean, because I'm tying it in with the charity work with Macmillan Cancer, there's a tremendous amount of support from people for the whole exhibition. Financially, because it's very good to do that, but also it means people feel as if they're actually being part of something, which is, you know, that's what creativity is about, is actually being alive. And Macmillan is part and parcel of that whole thing. It's a kind of rejoinder to the fact that Macmillan take care of people when they're alive. And it's a wonderful thing to be part of.
Now, what would you like to get your teeth into art-wise next? Because you do a whole gamut of things.
So my next few ventures, in fact, I'm going to Mallorca in 4 days, and I'm going to do a big exhibition over Mallorca next year. But I need to do something different there because Mallorca is my spiritual home. And the beauty there is you can actually do an awful lot of things you can't do here, simply because it's a different environment.
Now, Wet, Wet, Wet star Marti Pellow has forged out a new career in musical theatre. Bev Lyons went along to meet him recently as he took to the stage in Glasgow. And as she found out, he's cautiously welcoming a new stage show based on his band's hits.
Now, how does this role compare to others that you've played in the West End?
You know, this is my first Andrew Lloyd Webber piece I've ever done. You know, I've worked with Tim Rice before on Chess.
Yes.
But that was the ABBA voice wrote that, the voice from ABBA, and so great pedigree.
Fantastic.
So I mean, I'm a big fan of Tim Rice. I think he's a great wordsmith, and to think that they wrote this, you know, at such a young age, it's phenomenal, right? Phenomenal. You know, without getting too technical, and the structures and the arrangements of the songs are just...
No, but musically you admire him. I mean, you
Absolutely.
were doing lots of things at a very young age as well, musically.
Yeah, but I mean, to take on some of these, some of the movements and a is somewhat operatic, and even some of the recipe is like Sondheim, you know. So I mean, it's a real testament to how clever, how musically advanced they were in the way that they were setting up the stall.
Now, tell me, Wet, 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 have they come to see you in this particular performance since it's in Scotland, your bandmate?
Well, the rest of the boys, funny enough, aren't in the country at the moment, you know. You wait for a bus, you know, where are they all hiding? Tommy will come and see me, he's coming this week, and, you know, lots of friends. Graham Duffin came on Saturday night also, the guitarist with Webber for a long, long time. He came with his wife. And he thoroughly enjoyed it. It's nice for them to see me in different environments, you know. And
yes.
Because they're familiar with one side of what I do.
Of course.
You know, when I'm singing with Wet, 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 and which I will be doing again.
Well, we'll ask you about that in a second.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, do you get particularly nervous in front of them, you know, knowing that they're coming along?
Well, I think it's like everything else, you know, when you have friends coming into the audience, or you want to be a good show, and you want to do well.
Yes.
That's just the way I
Like, you
was.
should have come last night.
Ah, it was magic. Aye, great,
What are the
fantastic.
plans for the Wets in the future then?
It was coming near. I think it was the beginning of this year. We said, okay, right, come on. You know, you blink and 6 months disappear when you're busy. Let's get back in and do some more writing, or let's do some more shows, you know, and bring out these songs to air, because I think it's important that people see where we're at now as writers or
Where do you
musicians.
think you're at with the writing? I mean, do you think, what kind of things can people expect from you in the future?
Well, you know, like the way we write, there is no master plan. There is no master plan. We're not, you know, it's very much, you know, a couple of guys sitting in a room like that. All right, what have you got?
Who starts? Do
know,
you hum a wee tune?
I can come that way, do you know? And it can come from a story or something we've read, or you know, and then we start playing.
Well, you've been through so much in your life. It's been, you know, a roller coaster. It's like most people's lives, you know, there's ups and downs and everything. So I guess you put that into all of it.
Yeah, and I think it's like you know, I recently made a record which I couldn't have made when I was 20. I mean, and what I mean by that, I could have probably sang it, but my sense of connection with how I was storytelling, I would have found it hard to draw from experiences.
Yes.
Whereas, you know, when you're dealing with songs like from Sondheim or from like Sunday in the Park with George, or you know, and you're singing like Finishing the Hat, that's an incredibly complex song, and when you go inside that world, you know, I don't think I could have done that at 20. I don't think it would have had necessarily the same gravitas. You know what I mean?
Yes. I know that you mentioned ABBA writing some songs earlier from some of the West End musicals. Would you do a whole Wet, Wet, Wet the musical? You know, we've seen Take That the musical, we've seen Spice Girls, which didn't go down so well.
Sure. I mean, and you know, we have been approached with that, you know, because we have a back catalogue of hit records that would choke a horse. You know, I mean, it really would be. We have so many top 10 records, and we've been blessed enough to have number one. So it's people who are very familiar with our back catalogue. But you know, all good musicals come from a book.
Yes.
And so it's book. You know, so if the piece was right and our music could complement that, then you never say no.
Right, well, it's that time of the show again where we find out the latest showbiz headlines. Bev joins me once again. Marti Pellow is a bit of a character, Bev.
Oh, he is. Do you know what? He was so relaxed.
And his lavender number.
Yeah, I feel that he's come into himself now. You know, it's burning incense in the room and all that kind of thing. Ginger. He's a mellow man.
He certainly is. Now, I think the showbiz world, we've been rocked this week by a death of obviously the Sopranos star.
Yeah, James Gandolfini, at the age of 51, he became ill in his hotel room in Rome, and he was taken to hospital on Thursday and declared dead from a suspected heart attack. They're looking into it, but the tributes, you can imagine,
Everyone's
have
paying
just come
tribute.
in from absolutely everybody, from Kevin Bridges to Jeff Daniels, Lorraine Bracco, obviously, who was in the show, played the psychiatrist. Michael J. Fox, we're talking obviously about, he was Tony Soprano in The Sopranos. He was more than a method actor, you know, he really got into the role of things. I think he used to put stones in his shoes so he'd get irritable. He used to make himself stay up all night just so he'd be narky and, you know, become into the role. But everybody, as I say, Ewan McGregor, Ricky Gervais, Bette Midler, they've all paid tribute. What a great man, and a very sad event.
Yeah, it certainly is. Well, you know, a great event in Glasgow this week was, of course, Bruce Springsteen. He's looking good for his age,
boss, what,
yeah,
63 years old and still giving it loudy. 3.5 hours long was the concert, and he invited people up onto the stage. You know, he arrived with 2 private jets.
Well, you were at the airport. So, you were stalking him through the fence, weren't you?
Somebody said, how did he cut himself in half? 2 private jets. But, you know, one was for his entourage and his band, the E Street Band, great band. And the other was a smaller plane just for him. Just for him, because he's the boss. He can do that. He can
do what he likes, let's face it.
Yeah, it's a fantastic man. And he was staying out at Loch Lomond as well by Cameron House.
Very nice. Well, you know, Katy Perry this week, she's finally given a bit more details about her split with Russell Brand.
Well, this is the thing. I mean,
this is not pleasant.
You know, it's not very nice.
No.
You know, Katy Perry, Russell Brand were together, I think, 14 months before they decided to split. And the reason that they split, it now arises, is because Russell Brand sent her a text message on Hogmanay 2011. Imagine that. You're waiting for the bells. And instead you get this text
you're getting
from,
divorced.
You know, I want a divorce. And, you know, we always think Russell Brand's, you know, he's good with words. So it's not like he lacks communication skills. But obviously in this case, he seemed to have, he's great at social networking, but, you know, that's maybe taking it a bit
Let's
too
face
far.
it, if you marry Russell Brand, you know you're in for trouble, surely.
Oh, exactly. Katy Perry says that she's not actually revealing the exact nature of why she decided to divorce him. She's keeping it for a rainy day, so that'll be explosive when that comes out. But you know, that's not the only thing that's been in the news this week. We've also had Kanye West and Kim Kardashian.
Right, what is
and
this
their
baby's name?
Well, you know, Kanye West's mother, Donda West, died, and he's decided to pay tribute, apparently, to her by calling the baby West, but Northwest.
Naughty
It's
for
a
short.
compass setting. Yeah. Well,
The baby will fit in celebrity
it'll
school.
go in the right direction. You know, it breaks the Kardashian tradition of calling them all under the K name as well. So there was a lot of speculation. People thought that it was going to be called Kydance, but no, it's Northwest.
Northwest. And finally, Bev, you were at a very salubrious event this week for Scottish Album of the Year.
Yes, Scottish Album of the Year Awards in the Barrowlands, and R.M. Hubbard won it. Fantastic.
Who is this person though?
R.M.
Because we
Hubbard.
don't really know much about this person.
He's been making music for quite a number of years, but it's one of these things, you know, he's slightly underground, but he uses a whole fusion of punk and ethnic sounds and, you know, loads of other, I think, sort of a bit of Spanish flamenco in there as well. He got together with his friends. The reason he got together with his friends is he suffers from depression. He decided it would be nice to get all his friends together who happen to be musicians, including Alex Kapranos, who's actually produced
Friends in High
the
Places.
work, and he's won the award and £20,000, which he's going to spend on clearing his debts from making the music.
Well done to him then. I'm sure he's one for the future. Bev, thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you.
Well, that's all we've got time for, I'm afraid. From the team here at Record Women, bye-bye for now.